Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. Today we start kind of a big renovation down in our lower level of our house. This is what we call the lounge area. It is where the game bar is, if you've been following along. So let me show you what the room looks like and give you a few of the ideas that I won't reveal it all. We're gonna start with a little bit of demolition and prep, and then we'll start getting this place put back together and transformed into something awesome. So this is the area. Has a very 70s vibe. We have the brick in here. We have this cork board wall. The game bar is in here. This is gonna be finished up as well. So over by this pool table area, there's a lot of holes in the wall. So there's an old antenna port. There's another little hole here. There's actually one behind that picture. There's an outlet up there. We got two thermostats that I'm gonna fix that up and put some new ones in there. We've gotta replace all these walls. There's just a lot of updating to do. So this whole wall is gonna get repainted and redone, and we're gonna do a kind of a slat wall, half slat wall with a little ledge on it. And then as you come over to this area is mainly just a sitting area, but we're gonna work on this back wall also. We've got some sconces to add in here. We've got a few things to fix in the ceiling. It's just got a lot of scuff marks, and there's an old fan in here that's no longer in use. That's gonna get removed and patched over. We're gonna do a half wall, kind of a feature wall that will be halfway up the wall here. We're gonna paint all this. And then back here, we're tearing off all this beadboard, and we'll redo all these outlets. These all need to be updated. Some of them don't work right. And then we're gonna redo some of the outlets over here so we don't have that C channel on the wall. And I have been slowly updating all the switches and outlets in the house. I don't know what this one does. But I've got these nice touch dimmers, which are really cool. Let's just get started. So where'd you get this idea?
Our church and Instagram. It just seemed like a great
This is the
DIY.
problem with you looking at Instagram, is this ends up happening to us.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Do we really have to move that one?
Yeah, because I have to get in here and do a bunch of soldering and stuff.
Look out for the nail. I don't have the right screwdriver.
Using a flathead on a Phillips?
Yeah, it's working.
So 6 feet is this high, because you got that chair right here. You're gonna be sitting, you want light there, over here somewhere. And then you could do one right here.
It sounds hollow.
I bet you there's no, I bet it's just mortar behind here, I bet.
What's at the bottom? What's that?
I think that's wood.
It's dirt.
It's not dirt. My pry bar is really bent. Okay, that I'm gonna have to figure out. I don't know what to do here exactly, but. Well, how many of these do we have?
Like 70? 70.
I think, or 70. So we're gonna we have these 1x4 strips. These are gonna be part of the accent wall in the bottom half of each wall. And we're gonna need to rip these into 1.5 inch strips. So this is a 1x4, which is actually 3.5 inches. And we're gonna cut them into 1.5 inch strips, or about 1 5/8 or whatever. And then we're gonna cut, these are 8 feet long. We're gonna cut them in half as well, approximately. They're gonna be about 45 inches long is what we wanna end up with. We have a lot of chop saw cutting to do, and then we'll run them all down to 1.5 inches. What's happening right now?
I don't want to talk about it. I changed my mind about how wide the board should be. So instead of this wide, which you just spent like about 20 minutes cutting all these.
So I just cut all of these strips right here at 1 3/4 inches, right?
1.5 inches it should have been.
And you don't like it.
I like it, but not as much as I like 1 inch.
So we like 1 inch better, thinner strips. So we need to rip all these back through the saw.
Honey.
But as an advantage, we actually are going to get 3 strips out of each one of these instead of just 2.
I was thinking.
We actually didn't need to buy all this lumber and didn't need to cut all
So
these.
we wasted time and money. Cool.
What the heck? What in the world? It must be it looks like it has a foot. So it must be a salamander skeleton. I've never seen any. How did that get in there? That is wild. You guys have been watching a lot of construction and prep work. Let me give you a quick tour of what has been done and some of the little things that I have found to work well for this this type of renovation in this house. So we did a lot of electrical work that was done in here to get these sconce places, these fittings or boxes put in the wall and wire ran up to that. Now you'll see 20 amp wire run up to some of these and 15 amp to others. This is actually 12 gauge and this is good for 20 amp circuit. This is actually all 20 amp outlets and 20 amp circuits here, and that's what I piggybacked off of, so I wanted to use that. But I did have some extra 14 gauge wire that I used here, and it's just a light. It's only pulling like 14 watts, so I'm sure it's fine. What I found, this is a very strange house. We're actually, if you look out here, we're on the ground level-ish. There's a hill that goes down here. But this is actually a block wall. This is cinder block behind here on this side and this side. And I didn't know that. I thought this was wood in here. And the problem with the cinder block walls was they just furred these walls out with these little 1.5 inch strips right here. basically a 2x4 cut into strips. And so you have this foam insulation on each of these walls, and then you just have this thick drywall, 5/8 drywall. So it makes it really hard. These electrical boxes are super shallow. And what I found these at Home Depot. They have these old work boxes, and they have this like extra compartment on the side. I used one over here, same kind of thing. So this is going up to the sconce behind the foam, and it goes right up the wall, up to the top there. But I needed more room. This 12 gauge wire is super stiff and hard to work with. So this actually tucks behind there, and it gives you all that extra room in the box. So I can stuff all my wire nuts and everything over in the side. So those work really good. I do like this, but this is kind of janky. I didn't really like how they attach. They weren't very strong, and if I broke the drywall, like right here, I had to put a piece of wood behind it. So I only used one here, but they are really handy. But I just cut through the drywall, fished my wire through, used a fish line, got it up to the top. Same thing over here for the TV outlet. This is actually going to be these outlet boxes we mounted to the brick right here. I painted these black, so that's going to run. The wire will run from here through those. Those will get 2 outlets. On this side, I did move this outlet. It was up here. Our wall ledge is actually going to come about this high on this side, and we're going to put a board on the top of it, and we'll put a little USB outlet in here to charge phones. I've used these drywall patches. I actually saw this on YouTube years ago to just make a drywall patch like that out of a piece of drywall and save you can see the paper that just overlaps. This house was built in 1976, and much of what we are uncovering here is original. But a lot of these things, as we dig into it, we realize that things just need to be replaced, things need to be updated. There's old wiring, old switches, old outlets. We look for houses that have problems that no one else wants, and this was one of them. So I had originally bought all of these light boxes, these housings. These were too deep. They are way too deep for these walls. So I ended up going with these metal boxes, and they just have these ears on them right here. And then as you tighten this screw, it compresses a piece of metal in there, which pinches the drywall. So these things are solid. I mean, this is in here nice and tight. There are also a lot of interesting little spots that I filled in with foam. But these were old TV antenna plugs. And there was a couple of these around the house. I'm assuming they had a central antenna. This just got filled in with spray foam, and then again, this is just gonna get plywood over the top. What they had done in the past was they must have had a moisture issue here. You can see the bottom of the original like furring strip that's in here, and then they attached this one to it. So they must have come in and cut the bottom of this whole wall off all the way along here, and they put this corrugated plastic in here. And generally what they do is they drill holes in the bottom of the foundation, and then they cut a slit out of the cement all the way along the wall. It goes down to sand. Any water that comes through here goes behind this plastic, and it goes down right below the foundation. I know I have been a little bit vague with how this is all going to come together, and that has been kind of on purpose. You're going to have to watch the next video. Stay tuned for the next videos in this series, and then as I usually try to do, at the end of this, I'll put a whole wrap-up video, one video with the whole project together. Thumbs up on today's video. Throw your questions and comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys as always. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.